Good morning, students. Here we come up with general embryology. They are the male organs of reproduction. In order to understand fertilization, we need to revise the male organs of reproduction and female organs of reproduction. So therefore, our topic is the male organs of reproduction. This is our topic, male organs of reproduction. And we start with, there is a pair of testes, and these are the male gonads which are in the scrotal bag. Then there will be a complex system of tubules through which the spermatozoa will travel, and there will be a ductal pattern. Then there will be various accessory male sex organs. They are the prostate, the seminal vesicle, etc. And then finally there is copulatory organ in the form of the male organ penis, which will eject the spermatozoa. So therefore, we start with the testes, and as we start with the testes, it is very important to draw this line diagram. Here, this is just a sagittal section, and in this sagittal section, we are going to show the testes in the scrotum, scrotal bag, and the direction of the travel of the vas deferens. That is what we are going to show. So, therefore, before we start with that, let us draw this penile urethra. This is the penile urethra as it will pass above, and here we are going to show urogenital diaphragm. Similarly, we are going to show the prostate, urogenital diaphragm. Very rough line diagram, simple. And then we are going to show the urinary bladder. So, this is a very rough diagrammatic representation. It is not a perfect but a line diagram to understand the basic structure. So, urinary bladder, then the prostatic part of urethra here, and then membranous part of urethra and penile part of the urethra. Now, we need to understand the testes. Each testis is ellipsoid in structure. It is present in the scrotum, and this testis, the diameter of the testis will be 5 cm in length by approximately 2.5 cm thickness by 3 cm antero-posterior dimension. So 5 cm by 3 cm by 2.5 cm. These are the dimensions of the testes. And therefore, if we draw the testes here, we will show this with the blue color. It's a simple diagram. So therefore, here we draw the entire testes. Now, each testis is covered by 3 layers from outside to inside: tunica vaginalis, tunica albuginea, tunica vasculosa. Tunica albuginea is a white fibrous complete sheath covering the testes, and from the posterior side, this tunica albuginea will project inside the testes from the posterior side as a median vertical mediastinum testis. So therefore, here we show the mediastinum testis, which is a median projection from the posterior side, and that is of tunica albuginea, so mediastinum testis. Now this mediastinum testis will send various fibrous septa which will be directed outside, and these fibrous septa will divide the testes into various compartments. And these small compartments are known as the lobules of the testes. So therefore, here I will darken this covering of the testes. This I will just darken it. And therefore, each lobule will contain 1, 2, 3 seminiferous tubules. These seminiferous tubules are placed in such a way that they are coiled anteriorly and posteriorly towards the mediastinum, they will be represented in a straight manner, straight tubule. So therefore, coiled anteriorly and straight posteriorly, each of the seminiferous tubules. So therefore, here, if we show the seminiferous tubules, I will show with the pink color. These are the seminiferous tubules which are coiled here, and then they will become straight in the posterior. So they are coiled here, and then they become straight. Here also we show they are coiled in the anterior, they become straight. So this is how the seminiferous tubules are arranged. Now, here we will show that this structure, tunica albuginea. Then we show here, this is the mediastinum testis. Then we show here, this is the seminiferous tubule. Coiled portion anteriorly, straight posteriorly. Now this straight portion of seminiferous tubules, they will join in the mediastinum testis and they will develop into a coiled structure which is known as rete testis. So therefore these straight tubules will join together here, they will join and they will develop into rete testis. Please note down here, in the mediastinum they will develop into rete testis. So therefore this structure will be known as rete testis, which will develop in the mediastinum by joining of the straight parts of seminiferous tubules. From the rete testis there will be around 12 to 15 efferent ducts. There will be 12 to 15 efferent ducts which will pass outside. So therefore here we show that from here rete testis there will be around 12 to 15 efferent ducts which will pass, and these efferent ducts will enter the head of the epididymis. As they enter the head of epididymis, they will form the canal of epididymis. So therefore they will form the canal of epididymis. So once they enter the head of the epididymis here, they will form the canal of the epididymis. So therefore they are going to enter inside in this head where it forms the canal of epididymis. Now together it will form convolutions within the epididymis, and these convolutions will form the body and tail of epididymis. So together these convolutions will form here, this is the canal. Together these convolutions, this canal will continue throughout the head, body and tail, but together it will form, these convolutions will form the body and tail of epididymis. This is how epididymis is present along the entire posterior border of the testes. So here this is the epididymis, and here we have to name these structures as the efferent ductules, 12 to 15 efferent ductules. So therefore the tail of epididymis will continue as vas deferens, and that vas deferens will be 45 centimeter or 18 inches in length. So from the tail the vas deferens will continue, and this vas deferens will continue along the posterior border of testes but medial to epididymis. Please note down, it will continue around the posterior border of testes, once again above, but medial to epididymis. So therefore as the vas deferens continues medial to epididymis, we show it over here, it will travel here, it will travel along the inguinal canal, then the lateral pelvic wall, and then it will pass behind the bladder where it will join with the seminal vesicle. So therefore there will be seminal vesicle present here behind the bladder, where this seminal vesicle will join with the vas deferens. They will form ejaculatory duct which will project into the prostate, and it will open into the prostatic part of the urethra. This is the entire length of vas deferens. from the tail of Achiridinus, and this vas deferens is 45 centimeter to, that is 45 centimeter or 18 inches in length. So therefore here we will name this structure as vas deferens, and we will name here this structure as seminal vesicle. So therefore this is how the entire ductal pattern, the entire ductal pattern of the male reproductive system is present. Now we come to one important diagram of seminiferous tubules. Remember, prostate and seminal vesicle. Prostate and seminal vesicle, they are accessory male reproductive organs. The duct of seminal vesicle fuses with the vas deferens to form ejaculatory duct, which will open in the prostatic part of the male urethra. Now we are going to have a section of seminiferous tubule. Section of seminiferous tubule in order to understand. So therefore, when we draw the seminiferous tubule, please come on this side here. We are going to show in a transverse section. This is the cross section, transverse section of seminiferous tubule. Now it contains basement membrane. This is the basement membrane. From the basement membrane, there will be two types of cells which are present. Number one, the supporting cells of Sertoli, and number two, there will be various spermatogenic cells in the entire process of spermatogenesis. So there are these male gonadal cells which are in the entire process of spermatogenesis at various stages. So these are the two pattern of cells. So first let us draw the Sertoli cells. These Sertoli cells, they are the sustentacular cells. So therefore they are called sustentacular cells of Sertoli, and they will extend from basement membrane till the lumen. So as we draw these cells extending from the basement membrane till the lumen, this is how the cells of Sertoli will be present. This is one cell, and here in the lumen they will show that it will have a structure like this. Similarly, over here, if we draw this, this is how the cell of the Sertoli will be present in this way. So therefore, we are going to draw this, and these Sertoli cells, they will extend from the basement membrane till the lumen. Once again, we are going to draw here, and this is how you draw the Sertoli cells. And once again, over here we are going to show. So here these are the Sertoli cells. We are going to draw the nuclei also. So therefore, here we are going to show the nuclei. We are going to show the nuclei here. Now, in between the Sertoli cells, there will be various interstitial cells of Leydig, and these interstitial cells of Leydig will secrete testosterone. Along with them, the second variety of cells which are present in between the Sertoli cells will be the various spermatogenic cells in various stages of spermatogenesis. So therefore, the spaces in between Sertoli cells, there will be this second variety of cells. Now these variety of cells which we show in different stages of spermatogenesis, they are arranged in three layers: outer, intermediate, inner. Outer layer will contain spermatogonia. So the outermost cells will be that of the spermatogonia. So here I am going to draw these cells as spermatogonia. So these are the cells of spermatogonia. This is what I draw here. And therefore, after drawing these cells, we put some nuclei inside, and we are going to label them as spermatogonia. Spermatogonia, the outermost layer in between Sertoli cells. Intermediate layer is divided again into two parts: outer, inner. So the intermediate layer is divided into two parts, and the outer cells, they are known as primary spermatocytes. The outer cells will be known as primary spermatocytes. So these are the primary spermatocytes. And here we put the nuclei inside, and therefore here we will name them as primary spermatocytes. They will occupy the outer part of intermediate layer. Now the inner part of intermediate layer is by secondary spermatocytes. Very simple. So there will be secondary spermatocytes which are present in the inner part of the intermediate layer. Remember, inner part of intermediate layer, they are occupied by secondary spermatocytes, and outer part of intermediate layer are occupied by primary spermatocytes. So therefore, here these are the secondary spermatocytes, and we are going to name them as secondary spermatocytes. So this finishes the intermediate region. Now the innermost region. Innermost region will constitute the cells which are derived from secondary spermatocytes, that means spermatids. So therefore here we are going to draw spermatids. So these are the spermatids which I am drawing. This is the innermost layer. And after drawing the spermatids, we put the nuclei inside. And therefore, they form, here we will mention this as spermatids. And immature sperms are present here. Therefore, we show here there will be presence of various immature sperms which are present here. This is the presence of immature sperms. So here we will write down as immature sperms. And finally, deep inside in the lumen, you find more amount of spermatozoa. So deep inside here, we will draw and show the spermatozoa. So this is how we show the spermatozoa. So therefore here, we will mention this as spermatozoa, which will occupy the lumen of seminiferous tubules. So therefore, this structure is very important to understand the entire process of reproduction. So in this way, we have finished the structures that are needed to understand the male organs of reproduction for the fertilization. Thank you very much.